Okay, try our good friend uh Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang? Oh god, Wu-Tang. I'll have to think of that one too. Lou's gotta be like, oh, hello. No, 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 sounds too loud, and he's gotta be like, Shifu. Yeah, that's better. That's something I got.
Shifu.
And then Jin's gotta be all like, capitalism. I like that. Just capitalism and free market
Oh
trade.
my god.
He's gonna be all like lucrative sounding, and Shenlong's
Okay,
gotta be like,
everybody, what's up? Today it's Scares here. I'm kidding, it's you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. And we got our friend Elliot. As you heard, we're gonna be reading the entirety of a theme we've been working on. It's only a little bit racist. Don't worry, we actually made no fun of black people, surprisingly. But pretty much everyone else was not spared. Um, it's gonna be great. We're gonna read the whole thing. It's gonna be narrated by me, and dialogue will be spoken by the accent master right here, as you heard. Elliot, are you ready?
yeah, I guess
Okay.
the whole like maybe one viewer if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Hello, let me get my mic close to my face. Chapter 1, Windpipe Mountain. When Juan Julio arrived in Nanking, he could still see the crater from the Canadian nuke left over from the Sino-Canadian War. He had nothing to eat or drink in the past month besides cheap sake and dog-fried rice. In the distance, beyond a forest of synthetic bamboo and crisp mountain air, stood Juan's goal, a mountain that locals called the windpipe of the world. There he would have to climb 7,001 steps, not 7,000, but 7,001, to reach an old master of the rice food arts, Jean Shallop's master. It is said that only those who have been chosen by the celestial gods can go up and learn the ways of rice food. For 5 years, Juan had been searching for this place, ever since his faithful encounter with Jean Shallop on Mount Chalopia. Now he sought the secret to the dictator's total defeat, and this was, apparently, the only way. He began his journey at dawn. He set out from the small worker village of Little Montreal with nothing but his lucky revolver and a knapsack full of wet jasmine rice and maple syrup. He was at the base of the mountain around dawn. The villagers had told him beware of the treacherous way up the mountain, but he had seen much worse than this, he was sure. It was about 3 miles. It was about a 3 mile trek to the base of the mountain, and along the way he took the majestic sight of a beautiful water chestnuts and went across this lined road, complete with the aesthetic skeletons of the London Canadian soldiers. Legend said that a few years ago, a small skirmish between Canadian Maple Commandos and the mythical Rice Corps took place on the very ground on which Juan walked, but no evidence of this remained, as most of the Chinese countryside had been turned into a radioactive wasteland shortly after the war ended. As he continued walking, he spotted a two-headed cow and even a small, biographed Chinese alligator basking on a rock by the glistening green cess pond. Say that 10 times fast. He reached the mountain's base at 11 a.m. When he walked onto the first of the 7,000 steps, a small man was kneeling by the statue, seemingly lost in prayer.
Hey man, this is the wind pipe of the world, correct?
Asked
Asked
Juan
Juan
slowly,
slowly.
and the man swiveled around, surprised by the mysterious Hispanic man standing behind him.
Please, I have no food. I pray for more at steps of mountain, but Oriental God's favorite to answer questions.
The man pleaded, but Juan simply shook his head.
I don't have time for good spies, man.
He said grimly and drew his revolver, executing the man. He had become ruthless in the past 5 years and quite paranoid of spies sent by Gene Shallop.
Daddy, are you done praying,
God, I can't get
Daddy?
over that. Making a small child in a forest. Juan shot the child as well, so as to leave no weakness. They'd be the last two people Juan would see for the rest of the week. Before he could set up camp to rest before the arduous climb, a fox appeared. Half of it was black, another half was white. The fox looked at him, and Juan Julio shot it for food. A fog began to surround Juan Julio. He began hearing words in a foreign language, screams, the sound of 40 million people being slaughtered and raped in one day. Juan Julio listened attentively in silent awe. Juan Julio was shortly thereafter filled with determination to reach the windpipe of the world. Minutes flew, hours passed, days went by. Juan Julio, covered in welts and in need of a shower, arrived at the summit of the windpipe. There was a temple, a small temple called High Ricegar, with a tall pagoda on top. The frigid wind whipped Juan's long hair and snow-covered shoulders as he stared at the stunning temple. He was excited to enter. A monkey abruptly jumped in front of him, breaking his concentration. It was covered in armor and was wielding a sawed-off Type 95B carbine. Juan Julio shot it. The temple was bright red, with golden highlights made of porcelain. It had a waterfall flowing around it, the waterfall ending in a koi pond with a white fish and a black fish circling one another. Juan Julio could hear why they call it the windpipe of the world. There was a gentle chime resonating through the walls and a bamboo forest surrounding it. Juan Julio could feel something flowing through him. He had been searching for this place for 5 long years after his harrowing encounter with Jean Shalop, the maniacal dictator of the People's Republic of Peru on the summit of Mount Shalopia. Shortly after the battle, Jean returned out of thin air, as the prophecies foretold, to continue his iron-fisted rule. Juan was left with no choice but to seek his masters and defeat him for good. Juan Julio felt a supernatural urge to go inside the pagoda. He pushed open the heavy golden gates to the temple and walked in. Incense filled the air, and Juan felt euphoric as he continued. As he went on, candles would light a flame by themselves. A gentle humming could be heard in the background that would resonate as he walked down the smooth stone path, his footfalls casting cracking down echoes down a corridor. A redwood willing on both sides overviewed another pond with lily pads. On one end of the pond there was a large black koi, and on the other a larger white koi, and in the middle a black and white koi. Juan Julio shot all three to be safe in case there were spy drones. He then reached the inner sanctum and went through the silk flap that was the entrance. The incense began to smell stronger. The euphoria was gone. It was a place with dread. In the pagoda there was a round table with a frail, dull man on top, seemingly hovering above it. His eyes were closed, and a bamboo pole was balancing perfectly on a single grain of rice that was also levitating on a table next to him. The man sat in long blue flaxen robe with black highlights, stroking his long, pure white beard. A look of wonder in his ancient features. In the back of the room, a battered military uniform sat in a dusty glass case, along with a rusty Type 95 Key Z rifle, which was also levitating. Juan Julio looked around. It seems that even the candles was levitating, and we'll just skip that part. At last, the old man spoke.
Arana Hurio, I've been waiting for you for a very long time. As the Grods have requested that I. Oh, screw this, man. One Julio, I've been sitting here for 25 years because the Oriental guys told me, and now you just wash your hand in here like trip to supermarkets. I bet you don't do that to other sacred temperers.
Can't get away from that,
Dang
Elliot.
it, so thinks because this pagoda is made of pure gold that he is better than me.
Juan Julio was very confused. He was expecting the ancient wise man to lie at the end of his path, but instead found a cranky old mug who sounded like Juan's geriatric grandpa. Still, as he had been told to do by villagers at the Bomb Mountain, he laid his weapons down and kneeled in front of the jade platform, folding his hands and kissing the ground with utmost respect for the wise master.
What the shield doing, you wild-eyed crank? Get your butt up!
Juan did as sold. He was beginning to wonder if this was truly the great Shifu, the legendary mentor of Jean Shalop and the last remaining Ricebender. Juan had climbed many a mountain and visited countless isolated villages across the world and spoken to innumerable Shaolin monks, Catholic priests, Shintoist clerics, Jewish rabbis, Native American chieftains who tell tales of animals for a bottle of whiskey, backstreet fortune tellers, communist dictators of third world islands, and Tibetan Sherpas to find a sacred place. And what was he hoping to find? Was the arduous voyage was the key to finally defeating Jean Shalop, his arch nemesis. Instead, he found disappointment and possibly opium incest.
What are you staring at? We both know why I heal Bakai. Your training begins when moon aligns with sun. Until then, I want you to eat only one grain of rice and drink only raindrops with water from the holy pond.
Juan Julio became intimidated.
And I want you to jump off edge of mountain and jump off if you don't stop staring at me. Then kids these days.
Shiva continued blindly rant about youngsters these days. The incense became stronger. Juan Julio became dizzy. His visions was fading away. Shifu stopped ranting and smiled. Before Juan Julio passed out, Shifu mouthed.
Oh, it begins.
Chapter 2! Welcome to Rice Course. Karen's enjoying this apparently. Anyway. Juan Julio woke up in a cold sweat. He was in a mud shack next to the Three Gorges Dam. It was huge. Spectacular.
Runner Julio, your training shall be through my memories and Sino-Canadian War, starting now.
Before Juan could even question where the voice came from, air raid sirens began to fill the air. Meow. A lone bomber was flying overhead, leaving contrails high in the dark Chinese sky. Juan Julio knew that this was likely the infamous Canadian nuking of Nanking.
Just skip that part.
Elliot, you can cuss. For God's sake. Juan Julio tried to get out of the
Nah.
bed and start running, but he quickly realized that he couldn't do anything. He was trapped in young Shifu's mind and witnessing his memories as if it were a TV episode, but it was all too real. Shifu smashed the windows of his hut and without hesitating jumped into the Three Gorges Dam reservoir as 5 black dots fell from the lone bomber. He could have sworn one had a maple leaf on it. The second Shifu majestically landed into the water. 5 booms could be heard. Within seconds, half of Nanking was vaporized and 40 million people were turned to dust. The Three Gorges Dam was hit directly by one of those nukes and crumbled, releasing a now scalding and irradiated Yangtze River from its clutches. Juan watched all this out of Shifu's eyes, not being able to do a thing. He could, however, feel the water of the reservoir getting extremely hot as the shockwave went through. He could also feel the water rush out of the dam and into the Yellow River, saving Shifu from a blast, followed by with minor first-degree burns and minor hair damage. Shifu was floating down a rapid Yellow River, now getting very hot, holding his breath for dear life. Every time he smashed into a stray piece of debris or a half-burnt corpse, he would open his mouth, letting precious air out and water in. Eventually, Shifu passed out. Again. Sir,
Sir, a civilian just washed up at the get him on CPR, but don't use mouth to mouth. He might have. But CPR will waste valuable air. Are we at war with the Canucks?
Shifu was in a blur. He heard voices as he went in, and out of consciousness, Shifu opened his eyes and breathed in. There was a small child on top of him,
You're lucky you're alive, you know?
said the child. His voice was naive and young.
Welcome to Camp Rice. I lead you to Mesa. Commander Kai wants to see you. What is your name, Lone Wanda?
Inquired the child,
Shifu, yeah.
said Shifu, and Juan simply lurked in Shifu's mind, mortified at what was happening. Shifu seemed to be nothing more than a poor and young rice beggar. How did he become such a powerful being? In reality, Juan was witnessing firsthand the life of Shifu, from the entrance from the rice course to his ascension to godhood.
So melodramatic. Oh god, I'm so retarded. Where's Shifu? Welcome to the Rice Call. My name is Lee.
said the young
You're
boy.
lucky you landed here. A lot of our guys got killed during the blast. All of Asia is in panic right now. People like you will be conscripted with no training, get killed in first firefight, you know? And Canadians surprise attacking a civilian area like that. Doesn't matter to me though. I'm just an orphan, you know? Kai found me a while back and saved me from life of crime, you know?
Shifu, who was only half listening to the kid, was unimpressed with Camp Rice. It was small with a few navy blue tents and a small cloth pagoda which must have been the commander's quarters. The mess hall was even more unimpressive. It was big enough to fit a small kitchen and 20 people in an ideal situation. The food was somehow even more unimpressive. It was dog meat. But it wasn't even good dog meat. Shifu had eaten better stuff at a Hong Kong street vendor. Ah, shit, burn. Who charged $5 for everything. There was no hustle and bustle that no one expected from the mess hall, but that all changed when a group of 10 barged in,
Oh, Rocky you Shifu. Looks like the rest of Rice Squad is here.
said Lee.
See that man in the middle? The square-faced Japanese dude with Peruvian cigar? That's Commander Kai, you know? The person to his left is Wu-Tang. Guy's roided. He got paid $2 million by American named Giuseppe Shkreli. Kind of an oddball though, only speaks in rhyme. To the right, the chubby one, is Gigi Pang. Guy is delusional. Thinks he can end up as leader of China. Says he got a powerful friend watching back, you know? And that girl in back, the one wearing formal suit and tie, that's Jane. All we know is that she outcast the American spy. Really specific about how her martinis are made though, you know? Stirred, not shaken. I just want some sake. I don't care, said Shifu.
Asked Juan Julio, scanned the camp from Shifu's eyes.
I mean, I just almost got nuked, drowned, and knocked out by collision. Let me get stoned and watered in cheap booze. Where? That just won't suffice, Shifu.
Said Commander Kai as he took off his white gloves and sat down next to Juan Julio Shifu.
Your endurance is inhumane, and I believe we have to whip you up in shape for war. We are short of men, mostly because when bombs dropped on Red White District, we lost every shoulder we was on leave.
A dump truck could be heard outside, followed by the sound of a metric ton of ash being dumped into a mass grave.
Seems like our missing men have arrived. Oh, wait. Where it seems to me, if I don't agree, I'll end up in that pit. So go on, stop my training. I'm sure I might end up teaching somebody else if you try hard enough.
Commander Kai nodded and placed Shifu as a private on the spot. Gave him his gear, which for now was just some old Adidas track pants, and transplanted a high-tech military earphone into his inner ear.
Shifu, I will broadcast a song into your ear car. I'll make a man out of you to give you inspiration and determination to complete your training. It will not stop looping until you finish the training. So starting now, I want you to race river. Oh, welcome to Rice School, random beggar man. You probably want rest day, but we really need men.
Added Kai.
Yes, if you try hard enough. Race a river?
Hold up. Juan Julio began to hear the sound blaring into Shifu's head, and before Shifu could react, he was dragged to a river by G.G. Bang. He was stronger than he looked.
Shifu, Yellow River runs from Nanking to Oceanfront. I will place dummy boat in river. You will have to outrun boat on foot to Oceanside. Then I want you to swim back up the river and come back. Godspeed.
This small dummy boat was just a block of bamboo with the words, "If you can see this..." Oh, wait, shit.
No, you read it.
Okay. "If you can see this, you aren't running fast enough, you worthless cook!" Painted on the back. It was amazing. Shifu had been in Rice Course for less than an hour, and he hadn't even met all the members, but he already had to undergo rigorous initiation. It was like this Kai dude was trying to kill him. Shifu began racing down the river, but all he could see was the boat, which was very small and bright and yellow, and had an astonishing head start. The path was perilous, filled with tangleweeds, poison ivy, Canadian mines, and it even possibly went through the middle of a battlefield. Shifu, however, never let anything stop him. When he eventually had to run across the machine gun's nest field of view, that was also being heavily bombarded. Eventually, Shifu even had to jump down a cliff and break his left arm, ignoring the escalator to his left. And now we're hour
Crap,
past.
I gotta go, dude.
And we're on
Mom says I have to
hiatus.
go. Wait, hold on. Make Cameron read. I know you're here, Cameron.
Damn.
Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron!
Summon Cameron.
Alright, that's it. Just chant Cameron's name over and over again. Eventually, he'll
Cameron.
be forced to answer.
Cameron.
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 Cameron. Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron.
Cameron.
We know you're there.
Cameron. Wait, Elliot, why do you have to leave?
Cameron. Because my mom says I have to take a shower and like study a little bit, you know.
Study a little bit. You don't have anything else.
Yes, I do.
What else do you have?
Would not believe I have like 3 finals left.
Wow, 3 finals.
Ridiculous.
What classes?
Math.
You shouldn't be worried about that.
English. And computer. And that computer final is harder than it may sound. Trust me.
Elliot, just ask me for answers.
Do you have any idea what it's about?
No, but it's computers.
Okay,
Shit,
so
Elliot, that was 17 minutes of our lives. Okay, well,
Not wasted.
that's the end of today's episode. We'll continue this on Wednesday. See you all. This is Hugh Miller, signing off. Oh.